It is Thursday, July 26, 2012, looking up Highway 37 into Shaunavon, Saskatchewan. Population down to 1756 in 2011. Off to the west is the Frenchman River Valley. To the right, the waters flow up into the Arctic. To the left, flowing south, the waters go down into the Gulf of Mexico via the Mississippi and Missouri systems. There's the industry that sustains the Shaunavon area since the 1950s, and the old industry. CPR pushed its rails into the Shaunavon area in November 1913, attracted by deposits of pretty good lignite coal and excellent non-foaming clean water. Designated Shaunavon as a divisional point on its rail line that stretched from Brandon eventually to Hope, BC. But it styled its southern main line. And some of the notables that called the Shaunavon home, most of the occupiers. Looking eastward down 3rd Avenue into downtown Shaunavon, there's the water standpipe in the background there. Busy place, Shaunavon. It's the business node for southwestern Saskatchewan. And looking north up Highway 37. Again, Gull Lake is about 30 miles away. And this is Highway 13, the Red Coat Trail, heading off to East End and Lethbridge beyond. On September 17th, 1913, the CPR threw the town site open for sale up at its land office at Gull Lake, and lots were just snapped up. Post office was opened November 1st, 1913, absorbing the old power mine, the rural post office, which had been opened on July 1st, 1913. The Campbell Block, also known as the Benison Building, from 1925, looking west down 4th Avenue towards the Town Hall, the former courthouse built in 1927. And the west side of Center Street. The original buildings were all built on skids so that when the surveyors laid out the town site in the fall of 1913, the buildings could just be dragged to their new site. The Plaza Theatre, built as a dance hall in 1927. Looking east down 4th Avenue. And to the north, up center. Not only is Shaunavon the headquarters of the RM of Bone Creek number 108, but also of Wise Creek 77, Grass Creek 78, and Arlington 79. Now housed in the old Binkley Furniture Company building, frame built in 1914, the Shaunavon Standard has been more or less regularly published since September 18th, 1913. The old plaza was converted into a famous players' talkie theater in 1930. Been a theater ever since. Here we are in Shaunavon's downtown oasis, Central Park, laid out in 1913. The cenotaph was begun in 1923. Used to be a skating rink here, curling rinks. This is the Shawnee Campground. Lovely place to wake up in the morning. And the Grand Coteau Museum Library shares the grounds of the Central Park. Lots of churches in Shaunavon. Example of the Railway Mission Church is All Saints Anglican, built in 1915. 1929. Built as United Church in the Presbyterian style, it looks. And the brand new Christ the King Roman Catholic Church on the northeast corner of town by the airport. right near the school, the elementary school of the same name. The high school on 3rd Avenue East, and this is the headquarters of Shaunavon's professional firefighters. There's the Shawnee Hall next door to it. Down on 2nd Avenue East, the look-see. Shaunavon enjoyed a big building boom in the late teens, early 20s, mid-20s. All ended in 1929 with the collapse of the stock market and the onset of the Depression, which caused Shaunavon's economy to stagnate, just like every other prairie town. The Union Bank building of 1917. Next door to it, the headquarters of the Great Western Railway. The Canadian Bank of Commerce building from 1917. And down here would have stood the special station of the CPR, completed in 1914 at mile 118.2 from Assiniboia on the Shaunavon sub, and was demolished in 1988. The Shaunavon Hotel, now the historic Shaunavon Hotel, dating from 1915. This wing here on the south is built in 1928. You can see the U shape of the building from behind here. And here's the eastern end of the rail yards. This place used to just be a bustle back in the days of steam, with a roundhouse, coaling towers, water tanks. The rail line from Assiniboia all the way to Val-Marie was sold off to the Great Western Railway in 1999, I believe. And in 2004, the company was bought by local Saskatchewan investors, and the headquarters moved to Shaunavon. Here's the courthouse, dating from 1926 and has been the town office since 1958. Shaunavon was incorporated as a village on November 27, 1913, and became a town on November 1st, 1914. There's the rec center, the pool, and there's Grandma teaching a little tyke to walk backwards. Well, that's pretty strange. And the ball diamonds. Shaunavon hosts a detachment of the RCMP and has a hospital. And west side of Center Street again. Nice cafe there. There's the Avon building, dating from 1926. And there's C.R. Wilson, a noted golfer, on his way uptown, probably heading for Gull Lake. And this is the firewall down on Center Street. Don't know when it was constructed, but it's very similar to the one built in Ogama in 1916. Ogama is on this rail line, 176 miles to the east. In Ogama, there's a matching firewall across the street. It doesn't appear to be one in Shaunavon. The old green roofed red building there might have been a livery stable at one time. And looking south down at the site of the farm station on Center Avenue. On 4th, this is the Kin Hall, built by the Royal Arch Masons in 1922. And wherever you go, you're in rider country in Saskatchewan. And to the left is the former Saskatchewan Wheat Pool C from 1957, and its mate across the tracks, F or G, from 1977, and a 1960 crib annex. Shaunavon was so famous for the quality of its water that it was chosen to supply the Royal Train in 1937. However, since the Bone Creek Basin has run out of oil, the larger, deeper Shaunavon Formation has become a candidate for fracking, which puts Shaunavon on the front lines of the fracking debate. Shaunavon, Saskatchewan.